Hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jamie. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I measure shirts, jeans, and swimsuits. So when I normally measure, I lay the stuff flat on a wood table. You can use any type of table. Just make sure it's flat. For the video today, I'm just going to use hanging up so that I can show you how to actually measure the item for video purposes because it's too hard on the table. So first I'm going to show you shirts. These measurements you can use on long sleeve shirt, short sleeve shirt, tank top, jacket, coat, blazer, anything like that. It's going to be the exact same measurements that you're going to do. I do the underarm to underarm. Other people use different words. Some people say pit to pit. I don't personally like that. Some people say the bust line, across the shirt, whatever you want to say in your listing. I just say underarm to underarm, and then top to bottom, and then your sleeve. Now, I never used to put measurements in my listings, and I would always get questioned, what is the measurement of this? Can you give me the measurement of this? So instead of having the customer have to ask me a question or potentially not even want to wait on my answer, they just go find another listing that already has the measurements in. So I started years ago putting measurements in, and I don't get them questions anymore, and it's helped my sales. So I'm going to show you how I measure, and hopefully it will help you. So first of all, I do the underarm to arm. So you're going to find where the seam, where the back and the front meets. And I use these type of tape measure. It's just like a sewing tape measure. It's got the inches, which I use, and it's got centimeters on the back. You can use a ruler or a yardstick, whatever works for you. I do have a yardstick on my table that I have stuck on there because sometimes jeans and stuff, it's easier to measure with that, and ties, but other times, mostly the time, I use this. So just going to want to put it right on the seam, and you're going to want to make sure that the shirt or the item doesn't have the material bunched up, but you're not going to want to stretch it either. You're just going to want to lay it flat and then put it on the seam, and then bring it over to the seam on this side, and that would be 17 inches across the underarm to underarm. And then the next measurement I do is the top to bottom. And this is the seam right here at the top, and you're just going to want to put it, some people bring it down in the center, like on the shoulder, which this is all the shoulder, but I try to just do it close to the top. So you're just going to want to put it on the seam, and then just come right down, and it's roughly 21¼ inches. And then the last would be the sleeve. Now on short sleeve, like this is just a regular short sleeve. I don't measure the actual sleeve. I just put short sleeve on that part of the template because I have a template made for all my measurements for all the different items. It saves me time. But if the sleeve is long, or if it's a 1/4 inch, 3/4 length sleeve, if it's like maybe a bell sleeve or a little bit longer of a short sleeve, those I will measure. But just regular short sleeve, I don't measure. So on this, you've got the seam here at the underarm, and then you've got the seam at the top. Now you could probably, if you wanted, You could measure both of them, but I always just measure the very top to the very bottom of the sleeve. So again, you're just going to want to put it right on the seam. I can grab a hold of it and just come down, and it's going to be rough 23.5 inches would be the sleeve on this. So that is how you measure shirts, tops, jackets, coats, all that. I mean, it works for the type of measurements. So let me grab the jeans and I'll show you those. Okay. Now, these measurements work on jeans, shorts, capris. It's going to be pretty much the same. You're going to do the waist, you're going to do the rise, and then you're going to do the inseam. And some people, that's all they do. Some people do the hips across here. And I also measure the leg opening at the bottom. I don't do hips unless somebody does ask, but I rarely ever get asked for a hip measurement. So again, you're just going to want to do the waist. It's going to be a little difficult holding them up here, but I mean, you can get the point. So you're going to want to go from the seam again. Now this one might not be exactly because I get hung up and I can't hardly reach, but you get the point. So you're just going to want to come over, and it's going to be about 15.5. So it's going to want to go across, and that's going to be your waist measurement. And then the next one is the rise. The rise is from the very top of the waist to where the seam meets here. So you're just going to want to put it at the top. And right here is the seam where the material comes together. So it's going to be 11. So that is the rise. And if you measure clothes a lot, you'll know that the rise, like on eBay, it'll tell you, I think it's eBay, it'll say like high rise, low rise, I think medium rise. I think high rise is 11 or 12 inches and higher, so this would probably be medium to high rise. But I put the actual measurement in, plus I choose that on the specifics, the item specifics. And then the inseam is from the seam here to the bottom of the jean, pant, shorts. So you're just going to want to put it right there on the seam where it meets. Come right down, and I don't know if you can see, it's 29. So that would be a 29-inch inseam. And then if you want to do the hips is usually about right here, I think. I never measure hips, so this might not be for perfect. I'm not sure. I can't remember exactly where the hips are, but it's somewhere in here. So roughly that would be about 17.5. I think is the hip measurement on those. So let me grab the swimsuit. Okay. Now I just grabbed this one. Now as you know, there's all different types of swimsuits. There's tankinis, there's bandeau, bikini. So I'm just going to show you a quick, oh yeah, I think you can see that. This would be a typical bikini bottom. And then this particular swimsuit has more of a tankini top So let me grab a hanger for this. Okay, so on these, this is going to be pretty much the same measurement on the tankini ones as the top I showed you. But if it's a bikini top, if it's a bandeau, those are going to be pretty much the same. Like the bandeau, you're going to go across, straight across, which would be like a bandeau is kind of like this. So you'd be straight across from seam to seam, and then top to bottom. Bikini, like if it's a triangle one, I do the side to side, and then I do the top of the triangle. Just imagine this is a triangle. I would do the top and come down, like straight down, because it would be on an angle like this. So I would do from the top to the bottom of the triangle. I'm going to do another video and show you some other stuff. So I'll have bras on there, how to measure bras. So it's going to be pretty much the same type of measurement for a bikini top as a bra. So make sure you watch my future video with that. But for this purpose, I'm going to show you on this one. So this one, I would just do the same from the underarm to underarm, or you can say just across the swimsuit. But you're going to want to find the seam, which is right here. And you're just going to want to come across, and again, not stretch it, just lay it out. And the seam right there is 15.5. And then on this, you can put the measurement from the top of the sleeve or strap, not sleeve, strap, down to the bottom. Or you can do from the top of the swimsuit, not including the strap. Make sure you put that in the listing if that's what you're going to do, to the bottom of the swimsuit. So on this one, you would do the top of the strap to the bottom of the swimsuit, which would be 17.5. And then if you wanted to do the top of the swimsuit, excuse me, you could do it right here, like where the meets to the bottom, which would be 12.25. Or you can tell them, make sure, however you do it, you put it in the listing. You can measure from the center to the bottom, which is approximately 11 inches. And then on this one, like the back is shorter, clearly you can see. So you would want to put that in your listing as the front measurement, and then you would want to measure the back. So it goes from the top to the bottom of the back, which is approximately 9 inches. And then you would have all the measurements for that. And then on the bikini bottom, some of the tankinis have shorts as the bottoms, so you would use basically the same measurements as the jeans I showed you. Excuse me. So on this, obviously I can't get it stretched out because of the hanger, but laying flat, you would measure from the seam across to the seam. So we'll just say that this is laying flat for the purpose of the video. So that would be 13 inches if this was perfectly flat. And then I go from the top of the seam to the very bottom of the seam here. So that would be right there. It's actually right here is the seam. So it would be 12 inches for that. And then killing my arm. That should be the measurement, because these are pretty much the same height. So it's going to sit on your body the same way. So again, just across the waist, or you can just say across the top of the bottoms of the swimsuit, and then from the top to the bottom. Or if you don't want to measure that, you can measure the back. And again, you're just going to go from the top to the seam right there. And on this one, on the back side, it's 12. So pretty close, but you have different options of how you want to word your measurements. You can put your measurements on your actual description of your listing. I've seen people put the measuring tape across and take a picture of that, and then put that is their measurements in the listing. That's fine. I mean, that way the people can see the measurement if you don't want to sit there and type it out. I've seen other people write it on a piece of paper, write it on a dry erase board, all the different measurements, and then they can just wipe it off and put the measurements for the next item, and then take a picture of that and put in the picture of the description. And again, they don't have to type it all out. I prefer to type it because I have all the templates made for all my different items. So I just, if it's a shirt, pants, a necktie, whatever it is, I just have the template saved, and I just copy and paste that. It has all the, you know, inseam, waist, top to bottom, whatever the measurements are, and then I just plug in the number, whatever the measurement is. So I hope that helped you on these items. I'm going to make a couple more videos showing you some shoes, boots, accessories, how I measure all that stuff. So I hope that helped. And if you have any questions, just let me know. All my links should be below. And don't forget to like this video. It helps me, helps the YouTube, I can't think. Yeah. Anyways. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you come back and watch my other videos that's going to come out in the next couple weeks on the other items. I'm going to show you how I measure. So I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye.